Hello and welcome to the Big Virtual Detox. This is the place to be if you are a woman in business who wants to know what you need to let go of to create your successful and fulfilled life. Over the next few days, I'm going to be hanging out live with 5 of the world's top female entrepreneurs who are going to share everything they've learned about creating a successful and filled life so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that they did. So before I introduce you to our guest for today, it's time for some housekeeping. We're broadcasting live and Google Plus Hangouts are pretty new, so please be prepared for anything to happen. There's a 60-second delay between what I'm saying and what you're hearing. So instead of asking you to post your questions and getting radio silence, it'd be great if you just go ahead and post your questions in the Facebook comments below. We'll be checking periodically throughout the interview and we'll pop over the page afterwards to check any questions that we might have missed during the call. So, without further delay, I want to introduce you to Michelle Holmes, who is our guest for today. Michelle is one of the most respected online marketing coaches. She blasted herself stage last year with her Rockstar Summit with some of the biggest online entrepreneurs. She's a passionate affiliate marketer and created enough residual income with her summit last year to take her son out of school and move her family across the world to live on a tropical island. And in 12 weeks once there, she created a second six-figure business from scratch. She's now expanding into finding new ways of creating residual income and coaching others to do the same so that she can live a totally free, fulfilled and successful life. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you very much. It's lovely to be here.
So, Michelle, you weren't always, it wasn't always like this for you though, was it?
No, that'd be fair to say. Okay, is it sort of, you wanting me to kind of go into a bit of my story and how I sort of actually started out?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't, last year you were amazingly successful. You really sort of blasted into the online arena and had your fantastic summit with all those amazing people. But life, I believe, wasn't completely like that. And you know, some of our ladies are going to be struggling entrepreneurs. So
yeah, the funny thing is, it's like, you know, being a mum and running a business is as much of a curse as it is a gift. So for me, if I rewind back quite a few years to when I had my first child, my little boy Tate, basically when he was 2 months old, my husband, who was the main breadwinner at that time, we lost everything. He had a really successful six-figure business where we lived in Plymouth in the UK at the time. It feels like a million miles away, that does now. But we lost the business literally overnight. We lost our house, our car, everything that we had, and literally ended up spending a couple of years on beans on toast, benefits, feeling absolutely just rock bottom, hopeless, not really knowing what on earth we were going to do. But the interesting thing about that time in our lives is that even though we didn't really have very much money, we were really happy. And we were happy because we had all this free time with each other. So that was kind of a really interesting part of the journey, because we realised that in order to be happy, we needed to be able to spend a lot of time together, but at the same time, not having any finances at all, not having that security, was a really big issue, because it did create stress and all kinds of other stuff, and we were both quite ambitious people. And we had our second child, our daughter, a couple of years later, and it was when she was 6 months old, a childhood friend of mine passed away very suddenly. And you know how you have those friends that you sort of grow up with, and they're more like sisters than they're like friends. And we would talk about all the things that we were going to do in our lives and all the things that we were going to see. You know, the kids we were going to have, the husbands we were going to marry, and we had all of those conversations, you know. And when she passed away leaving 2 kids behind, exactly the same ages as mine, a boy and a girl, exactly the same as mine. And it was literally some freak, strange thing where she had a headache one day and that was it. She was gone 2 days later. And when she passed away, the thing that she sort of left me with, apart from being absolutely devastated because I'd lost a childhood friend, was that that you only have now. If you want to make all those dreams that you had a reality, you know, as a child and as you're growing up, if you want to do those things, you've just got to make a decision to make it happen. And that was really the big turning point for me. I remember looking at my kids and just thinking to myself, I want more than this for you. I want, you know, we had an amazing life. It was great. We could like go out onto the beach in Cornwall and look through little rock pools, but if I wanted to take them somewhere else that cost money, I couldn't do it. You know, if I wanted to go out for dinner with my husband, I couldn't do it. You know, there were times where we couldn't pay for blooming nappies and heating. It was absolutely diabolical financially. And so I made that decision pretty much there and then that I was just going to find a way to make it work, for us to have the time that we wanted together as a family, but also to have the financial security that we needed as well. So I started my own business, and like everybody else, went through that sort of first couple of years that are seriously hairy. Literally, you know, getting through it all by the skin of my teeth, you know, every month just not really knowing how the rest of the month was going to turn out, but got through it. And it was mostly because I was so determined. There was just no way I was going to fail. There was no way I was going to go back to that life. So I just made it happen. And then I realised that actually, in doing that, I was on my way to burnout. So I created, you know, really quite successful business at that time, doing the things that I love, empowering people, and showing them how to use the internet in a way that's really authentic and magnetic to the right opportunities and people. But at the same time, I'd almost got myself into this state of, it was almost like I was addicted to working as hard as I could, because in my head I was telling myself, but I'm doing this because when I've got this financial security in place, then I'm going to be able to give my kids everything that they want. But in reality, that's a really flawed way of thinking, and I think it's something that a lot of mums who run businesses tell themselves, and this might be very controversial, but we do. I certainly did. You know, I did tell myself that I was doing it for the good of my kids, but in reality, what your kids want is to be with you. They want to be able to spend time with you, and for you not to be stressing out, you know, about money. They want you to be present with them, and that wasn't where I was at. So I kind of made a decision then that I needed to make things easier. I needed to find a way to get my message out there, which was very important to me. I really needed to help people to become more confident, to become more visible online. I needed to be able to do that, otherwise I wouldn't have felt fulfilled. But I needed to be able to do it in a way that didn't take up all of my time, and in a way that paid me the money that we needed as a family to really live our lives. And so I did this summit last year, and I pulled together some of the most inspirational entrepreneurs online, who I followed for some time and who inspire me greatly. And it was incredible. It just put me on the map, I think. I had thousands of views of every single one of the interviews. And I created enough residual income off the back of that summit to take my son out of traditional education in the UK, to get on a plane, to fly to the jungle, as you do, and start a completely new life on a tropical island. And that's what I did. And then when I got here, I started this new sort of, it was like, it gave me the confidence to really come out as who I really am, because what I'd been doing online, the face that I'd been showing online was, it was me, but it was only one facet of who I am. Like, it was the big bubbly presenter type person was the only thing anyone was ever really seeing of me. There's this other side of me as well, which is all about spirituality. I'm way into, you know, consciousness and the power of the mind and all of these things. I wasn't talking about any of that. So I decided to just come out all out. what the hell, right? I was, living on a tropical island. I think the sense of distance maybe gave me a bit more bravery to just come out and do it. Maybe, I don't know. And I did. I came out and I just gave the world exactly who I am. And yeah, it wasn't always like this, but every single step that I've taken along the way has led me to where I am now. And, my kids were a massive driving factor throughout the whole journey. They were kind of like my anchor point where I'd come back, on those crazy days where I'd worked way too many hours and go, why am I doing this? These guys are my reason why. I need to be in the moment with my children. I can't just be completely caught up in this entrepreneurial world that I love. I've got my babies, and that's why I'm doing it. So they would bring me back in when I went a bit entrepreneurially crazy. As I think was really simple. It's easy to do when you're an entrepreneur and you're a creative person. But they also drove me through all of the fear, all of the comfort zone stretches, all of the, I don't know if I can do this, maybe I'm not cut out for this, all of those nagging, limiting beliefs that I had in my head. It was always my kids and my husband, actually, that really just kept on pushing me through it. So I think any mothers who are in business really have, it's like a competitive advantage almost, because we have a built-in why that's there in our face every day, without fail, and I think that's really powerful. So yeah, sorry, I've got two little dogs in the background who seem to be coughing or something. I don't know what's going on there. I've got two doggy babies as well as my human babies.
Yeah. So in terms of, we're talking about the big virtual detox, so a lot of mums feel like they've got to do more, that they're doing so much anyway, but they feel like they've got to do more promotion, more marketing, more this, more that, when they're trying to run their business and get there and make the success of it. But what do you feel like you've let go of? What do you think you've stopped doing that's actually allowed you to create this success and this freedom that you now have in your life?
I have stopped believing my own limitations, for a start. I think I had a lot of them. I still do have a lot of them, or who am I kidding? I have stuff that goes on every day that makes me think, I don't know if I can break through this next barrier, this is a tough one, can I really do this? I have that every day, and I let go of that every day. So I have a daily practice where I will just allow myself to connect in with what's going on for me right now, what are the feelings that need to come to the surface for me to deal with, and I'll choose the ones that I need to let go of daily. So anything that really doesn't help me to move forwards, I will let go of that every single day and replace it with something that's a lot more empowering, something that I want my children to see me doing. And again, my kids, you've got to lead by example. If you want your children to live the life of their dreams, if you want your child to, not settle for second best, but really to go out there and fulfill their highest potential, then you've got to do it yourself. And that was a big thing for me. There was no rolling around in my own self-pity anymore. So I let go of that. I let go of that. That was probably the biggest thing. And I let go of the belief that I'm any different to anybody else. And what I mean by that is we all have fears around visibility. We all have fears around failure. We all have fears around success. And yet, if you look out there into the world, you will find lots of different examples of women who have families and thriving businesses and freedom. There are a growing number of women who are living their lives in this way, and you only need to look around to see those women. And I think the great thing about not being the very first to go out there and do it is that you can actually model what they've done. There is a blueprint in the system, and it really is about merging all of your innate feminine gifts, right? Stuff like compassion. You need to be compassionate for yourself don't beat yourself up whenever you feel like, you know, I'm not as good as I should be. I should be doing more Facebook posts. I should be doing more tweeting. Maybe I should be doing more videos. I need to be better at email marketing and all of these things. Everybody goes through that same thing. And it's really about picking the thing that you will enjoy the most, the thing that you can commit to really mastering, and just going out there and doing it and aiming to master it, aiming to really be good at it, and making that thing leverage. So for me, it was video. For me, I really enjoy video. I love the fact that it gives me the ability to connect one-to-one with many people at the same time. But I can make one video and it can be seen by thousands of people who can all feel like they have a one-to-one connection with me. So for me, I chose video, and in all of its forms, online. And I think that's what it's about. Don't try to do everything. Just do the thing that's going to get you the biggest results. It's Pareto's law, right? 80% of your results are created by 20% of your actions. So it's about working out what those 20% of actions are that are getting you the biggest results, or which will get you the biggest results, and just going for those first.
Right. So more recently, you have moved into trying to create, not just create income as it comes, but to create kind of residual income. That's been your big passion more recently.
Absolutely.
Do you want to tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, okay. So, you know, moving to Thailand, to this tropical island, has been so transformative in many ways. And one of the things that happened when I got here was, unfortunately, my husband and I had miscarriage. And due to, you know, whatever reasons, we didn't get the medical care that I really needed at the time, and ended up having a really nasty infection develop, which meant that I was laid up. I was just literally just on my back, unable to work. And what happened when that happened was the money stopped coming in. So where I'd been like, yay, I've just had like a 26 grand month, now I was like, I can't even, I've got no energy to pick up the phone, I've got no energy to do any marketing, there's no way I can make a video, I can't do any of the stuff that I do. And it was a massive aha, big wake-up call, that no matter how well I was doing when I was on form, the moment I stopped, the money stopped coming in. And for me, that was really interesting. And I realised that, you know, from my summit I made enough money to cover our cost of living here for 12 months. But, you know, we've been here for 8 months now. Yeah, but we've been here for 8 months now. So, you know, I needed to start thinking about how, you know, what was I going to do to make that happen again, you know, because I'd fallen into the habit, the cycle of coaching, just coaching. That was all I was doing. So every month I would find new clients, deliver to those clients, then the next month would come and I'd start on zero again and find new clients. So I wasn't building a residual income anymore. I was focused on the day-to-day running of the business. And obviously with this big sort of life lesson that happened, I realised that that doesn't really give me the freedom that I want. If I need to take time off, I don't earn any money. So that was, sorry, oi, be quiet. So that was a big realisation. And that's why I changed and sort of moved into being more focused on affiliate income and more focused on residual income, passive income creation. So that's what I'm doing now, and what I'm focusing on, helping as many women as I possibly can to get in place as well, because I kind of realised even when the money's flowing, if you stop working, the money stops flowing into you unless you have these streams of residual and passive income coming in as well. So yeah, a bit of a shift.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what you're moving into now, into the residual and passive income. So if people wanted to talk to you or get in touch with you about this, how would they do that, Michelle?
Okay, so the best way, if you're sort of in a place where you're ready to create a lot more freedom, and a lot more sort of let go of the stress that's involved with starting every month on zero, basically, and you'd like to look at different ways that you can really elegantly incorporate passive and residual income streams into an existing business, or even if you haven't started a business just yet and you're looking to work out how you might make this work, you can just send me a PM. If you just send me a message on Facebook, a private message on Facebook. I'm Michelle Jane Holmes. There's a picture of me. My profile picture is me on a beach looking quite smarmy and cheeky because I'm quite happy with myself that I live on a beach. And yeah, just send me a private message and let me know that you saw me on the interview with Rachel, and I'll look after you. We'll see where we go. Is that okay? Brilliant. They can visit my website as well if you want to have a little look, but I think it would be best to, it's always nice to meet somebody in person and to know exactly where they've heard of me, basically. So do send me a private message. Even if you do go to my website and opt in, send me a PM just to let me know as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, well, that's been amazing. Just before we go, Michelle, this is a detox. So we said at the beginning of the detox that we weren't going to have any green juice, but do you have a green juice? Do you drink the green juice, or are you one of those that kind of things?
I do, actually. Yeah, I do. No, I do. Yeah, I used to be powered pretty much by caffeine, I have to say. Just the last few months, I've made quite a lot of changes in my lifestyle just to kind of give me a cleaner power, if that makes sense. I was always very sort of jittery on the caffeine, so I've just decided to do a bit more with the healthy stuff. So yeah, we do quite often have a green juice in the morning and try to disguise it so that the kids don't know that it's green juice. We do some of that. Lots of water. I'm a big fan of bee pollen, aloe vera. Yeah, loads of supplements. I think it's really important. It's when you're building a business, it's really important to make sure you're putting the right stuff in. So for me personally, it's about the right nutrition, but it's also about the right thoughts and beliefs. So yeah, there's kind of two ways that you put stuff in for me. And I am trying to clean up both of them. It's an ongoing process, but hey, we're all walking the path together, I think. It's an ongoing journey.
It is. It's getting the balance, isn't it, between being, well, just at the moment it's really difficult to balance everything, but you've got to try your best to stay healthy for you and your kids, haven't you?
Exactly, and it's also like, again, it's about not beating yourself up. If you do fancy a bit of chocolate one day, have the chocolate and don't berate yourself constantly because you've had a bar of chocolate and you've come off your healthy eating plan. Oh, bad, mummy. Don't do that. It's the same with when you're building your business and you come up against something that's quite challenging. Just choosing not to call yourself lots of names and, put yourself down. This is a journey. We're all on the journey, and it's really important to remember that you're always, as long as you can just focus on doing the best that you can in any given moment. So what if you slip up here and there? If you can view the challenges and the slip-ups as gifts along the way, as well as when it's going brilliantly, that's the mark of a person, isn't it? It's really easy to be positive and upbeat when everything's going great. It's when you slip up, or when you make a mistake, or when a challenge crops up, that's the real test, if you like. So yeah, just stand guard and make sure the stuff that's coming in is actually supporting you in what you want to do, whether that's nutritionally or in terms of what you believe.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Michelle. It's been fantastic having you on. So if anybody wants to get in touch with Michelle, she said you can PM her on Facebook. She's Michelle Jane Holmes, is it? Michelle Jane Holmes?
Yeah, MJ.
MJ. And if you want to visit her that you can do, but I think she works much better in person on a one-to-one, I think. So if you want to do that, please PM Michelle, find out what she's doing. She's doing some fantastic work at the moment. So thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you for joining us on the Big Virtual Detox. I hope it's been really, really useful for you, and we'll see you on the next Hangout. Bye. Michelle, do you want to say bye?
Bye!